Hey everybody, Radical Gardener. Well, better late than never, huh? Yeah, I know. Well, what's new? Let's see. New haircut, new glasses, really busy. So let me get started with all of that. I've been really, you haven't heard from me very much in the last 6 months. It was a huge time of transition, and I know a lot of people have the energy to document those sort of things, but a lot of it was real personal for me. I still grieve my husband, and I grieved two dogs and a cat, and a couple of close friends, and then when I moved again, I moved three times. Was it three? 1, 2, 3, 4 times in, was it 2.5 years, something like that? Anyways, it was a lot. And so, yeah, there you go. You can see my glasses are really reflecting everything. But anyway, so I just really didn't have the energy. And then when I moved here, I needed to find a place, which I was so lucky. I've just got the cutest little house, and it's really cozy. It's perfect for me. It's small. And I have one more move in me. I want to, eventually be in a tiny house. It's sort of what I had in Florida, but I've got something in mind, and I know where I want it to be, which is really just about 5 miles from here. There's a great area that's it's like Joy Road and Ann Arbor Trail, and there's some land out there, and actually there's an organic farm out there. So it's really a great area, and I still can do what I do, which is teach. So that brings me to, then I was hustling, making lots of phone calls, then I'm back in town, and I teach voice, and I teach voiceover instruction, and I was really lucky. 3 different places hired me. One is, it's challenging because I don't make the money that I should make, but I am making some money, and it has aligned me with some really good people to teach who are now seeing me outside of the academy that I'm teaching at, and getting private instruction, which is what I really prefer. And then I'm teaching for this other little place, and I only have a couple of students through him, but he's cool, and it's really close to home. And then I'm teaching at home. And so yeah, I'd like about 30 more students, so I'm just working towards that. I've got some ideas on how to just generate more business, so that's what I'm going to be really focusing on for the next 2 months. So that's kind of been it, setting up house. And my hip got really bad, and a lot of that was from taking care of Joe and all kinds of stuff. And so I was kind of limping around, and as anybody knows, when you have some physical pain, it just slows it all down, right? And you don't have as much energy as you want. Now I'm really coming back. I'm seeing a chiropractor 3 times a week who just does a lot of stretching and decompressing, and it cost me $24 a week. So, I mean, it's been great. He's 5 minutes from my house. It's just great. So everything that was, problematic or was challenging, I have found, solutions for people that could really help me. So it's been great, really. But anyways, today what I want to do, and I never have really talked about in any kind of detail the healing music that I've spent the last 10 years composing. And what I want to say to you is that it is available in a very clear and user-friendly way. So I have a website called therapeuticsoundandwellness.com. I will put that below. And if you go on that website and you do the drop-down box says sound healing, and then I think it says music, you'll find it. But it will have all these different ailments, like maybe, can't sleep, or, gut issues, or what have you. And you click on it, and it'll take you to the track, the music that helps you with that that problem. And there's nothing like it in the world. It's the only one that I know of, only website. It's Therapeutic Sound and Wellness. The big kahuna is Sayonic 3, Sayonic 3, and that's the one that that's on YouTube. There's a short version and a long version. I recommend the long version because that's how we studied it, and that's where we found that 70% of the people that we studied, only after listening to it for a short time, it created 90% coherence, which is unheard of. So what that means is that the energetic body and the physical body align so that the body can heal itself. And that's all measurable. And that was done by Dr. Snell. It was on the Up and Up. It's all, was really went at it with as much science as we could. And we did. So that's one that is great for just about anything because it creates so much coherence. So, and remember, all of this music is done to a different musical scale. It is tuned to the frequency of nature and of the planet, and much of it is done with the human voice. All powerful pieces of healing oneself. I think enough of you know that when the tuning that we use in music is not friendly or conducive for healing. Actually, it's the opposite. So 440 really doesn't work very well, and everything's tuned to that, including classical music. And that all happened, I think it was the early 50s when it was adopted just throughout the world that people use that. Now, there's indigenous instruments, indigenous scales that have not adopted that tuning, so that's good to know. So anyway, so I thought, well, I would go through some of these that are really powerful and I know really work, and we've got great feedback on. One of the ones I'm going to go for is called Ancestral Healing. And again, you can find these on YouTube. You just put in Ancestral Healing Katehart. So let me just explain to you what it is. And then I also talk about, well, let me just read it to you. Ancestral healing and alignment. Healing the ancestral imprint. This is a realization that there are no restrictions in time and space. We are part of all that was, is, and will be, connecting through the karmic pattern of our lineage. It is our responsibility to not only heal ourselves, but our familial chain that informs the quality of life that we lead. By connecting to Source in the first quorum of the energy, we can begin the influential healings of these patterns. In addition, the tones for the rulership, just meaning the overall tones, have been added with the corresponding 4 directions and the 4 elements by name and sound. The bar chimes of each of these planetary notes have been added due to their rich harmonic overtones. So, and then I have here a little sidebar. The parent-child connection manifests as one link in a long chain of ancestral karma that stretches back through time. Your link to your family allows you to be born into that specific line. It is a link that needs to be understood and respected. In this modern scientific age, it's very difficult for people to accept the fact that they are responsible to their ancestors, that they are actually liable for the actions of their ancestors if the resulting karma has not yet been dissolved. I don't believe in karma, but I don't really know what other word to use. Basically, there's an imprint, and you can walk around with that imprint, or you could become friends with the imprint. You can actually work with your ancestors just by stating that you want to work with them and that you would like to heal anything that happened prior to you, coming into existence, and would like them there for your healing. So it's the symbiotic relationship. That's what you're doing. So some of these words I would change now. This is some old copy. let's see, time and space again when investigating someone's patterns. I find problems that stretch back generations. Their spirit is just not an individual entity. It is also part of the family spirit that births and nurtures it. This is so true. So we were working with this when I was in Florida earlier this year, and we saw some really powerful changes, and I did too. It was kind of interesting. When I started doing that kind of work, we noticed that a lot of orbs showed up in the room. I don't know what those were, but anyways, that's available on the site. Let's go to something else that I think really works. Also, I have all the chakras. So if you go again to my on YouTube and put in first chakra katehart, that'll come up, and then second chakra same. And those are just packed full of stuff. And I think what I'll do is I'll do just a YouTube that will just deal with that deals with God. I just got a call and completely distracted me. That deals with the chakras, but they're really strong. Okay, so the one I wanted to get into here is that I have one for the stomach, and it really works. Hopefully I have the copy here, because I just had pages and pages of this stuff. Let me see. Well, there you go. Yeah, I don't see it. Anyway, if you just go to the website and you click on stuff for any kind of gut-related issues, that music really works. It really works. And then I have things in for ceremony, what have you. One that there's a couple here I really, really love. I think they're just beautiful. One is called the Sacred Om of the Crop Circle. And so this is what's in that one. Connecting to a higher consciousness, it's a meditation. So this is what's on that track. Bowls, and I used old Tibetan bowls that were from the 16th and 17th century. Those things were amazing. Bowls, various frequencies, 12 divine tones, frequencies found in crop circles, Om, sacred site. So there's our notes that are consistent if you go from sacred site to sacred site. Sunlight, warmth, joy, cell regeneration, beta endorphins. So these are all things like I had recordings of the planets, and so I would use that. Or I have like the frequencies of the planets, and I would use that. And then divine tones used in this piece to align with divine purpose. The bowls encourage alignment with the divine and repairing disruption in the etheric field. I love that one. And it's called Sacred Om of the Crop Circle. Another one's called Water Balance, Awakening the Creative Center. So these are some of the tones that are in there and frequencies: thunder, underwater, wind, water, bowls, lots of oohs that are sung, some divine tones for transformation, frequencies for Mars, and the sound of the planet itself, activity, energy, freedom, humor, joy, awakening, brain stimulation. So there's frequencies that deal with those specific things. So that's what's in it. Elements for stimulation, connection, and creativity. So water balance, anybody that wants to be more creative, I always introduce some of those concepts. And the bowls encourage alignment with the divine and repair disruption in the etheric field. And the oohs that I'm using are for creativity. Another one that I have in there is called DNA of the Violet Sun. Now, these sound a little more esoteric, but I'm telling you, I have stuff that's just, for the throat, for the eyes, for that. So you can find those too. And again, they're really easy to find on the website. DNA of the Violet Sun. It's a balance of physical with spiritual. So again, we're creating that coherence. Sounds from Space recorded by NASA. That's a long story how I got some of that stuff. Frequency of the sun, frequency of the color violet, frequency for DNA repair, the djembe. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's a drum, an African drum. Water, the sound of water. The sounds of space are used as a backdrop, creating a sense of being part of the bigger picture. The sun frequency is used as a healing component, life-giving, if you will. The color violet is thought of as a higher color energy for the planet, water for healing and compassion for self. The djembe is an African drum. The Malis say brings groups of people together in peace, but also makes us aware of our own heartbeat and inner self. That's DNA of the Violet Sun. And these are so beautiful. Like I sing every note 12 times to create a deep field of harmonics, right? Okay, so then the next one is called Spectrum. And that is pure divine alignment. 12 divine tones, ancient Tibetan bowls, the didgeridoo, rain stick, 12... Oh my gosh, what was that all about? I'm here with my little Yorkie, and I'm babysitting another Yorkie. I can't even stand. The cuteness factor is just through the roof. Okay. Okay, so didgeridoo, rain stick. Hey, monkey, no. 12 divine tones have each been sung 12 times, increasing a bed of divine harmonics. These divine tones govern awakening to a perfect state, expressions, solutions, facilitate change, transformation, miracles, reconnecting, relationships, reduce pain, influence energy fields, turn grief into joy. The bowls encourage alignment with the divine and repair disruption in the etheric field. Rain stick used as intentional tool to create a more fluid energy and connection to spirit. Didgeridoo, this is a wide and as yet very poorly represented instrument that produces low frequency sound that we can hear in actual vibrations that we can feel. The didgeridoo seems to produce near infrared in the 2 to 20 hertz range. Brain waves are in the 2 to 20 hertz range. The low frequencies have a noticeable effect on living tissue, creating a calm environment. So you can see this was not fly-by-night stuff. Why is my stuff different? I set out for it to be different. I didn't want to do something everybody else is doing. I didn't want to keep saying the same thing everybody else said. I knew some things were true. The human voice is the most powerful healing instrument in the world. So as much as you can have a human voice on healing music, the better. Also, the voice is rich with harmonics. Harmonics are what is really helping to align you and to create health. Harmonics move, they wave. If you're listening to something that's done with electronic tones, get rid of it. It doesn't do anything. It's electronic. You have to have movement. Here's what real healers know. Maybe not even real healers, but people that understand how these things work. Is you need space to heal. So you can't just have one tone. If you have a harmonic, what happens is there's space in between the note or the tone or the frequency, but there's a space. And then within that space is where the body accumulates information to heal itself. So you have to have space to heal, right? And so human voice, harmonics, and then tuned it to a different tune. It's not 440. So again, I tuned it to the frequency of the planet, and I built a musical scale on top of that. Singing every tone 12 times. What does that do? That increases the harmonic field. It makes a very rich body of harmonics. So that is what makes it different. As soon as I hear music that's done with electronics, I just turn it off. it just doesn't make any sense to me, you know. So that's why, you know, well, what's harmonic in nature instruments? You know, any of the, you know, the piano, the guitar, things with strings. You know, I mean, you know, I mean, really, all instruments have a beautiful field of harmonics. Some maybe more than others. We like strings because, you know, they have more of a wave, if you will. You know, they have more movement. Just by the nature of the instrument, but I think all instruments are fine. I just, you know, just not electronic. You know, when you're talking healing, electronic, they don't go together. Anyways, that's me. You know, my plate is clearing. I always think that I'm going to do something every day and do a video. Gosh, remember when I used to do that? I'm really going to give it the good old college try. And, you know, like I said, my plate is really is clearing up here, and I can, you know, I've got time and the energy to do it. Yeah. Nice to see you again. Not that I can see anybody. Anyway, nice to be seen. All right, Radical Gardener, from my garden to yours. May your garden always grow. Sending you a ton of love, you guys. Okay, goodbye.